In this video, I'm going to show you the simplest way to factorize binomials. I'll see you after the intro. Alright, let's begin. Factorize binomial. That is today's task. So the word bi, it means 2. Alright. And what about nomial? Nomial, there's nomial. It means a term. This is a term. Alright. So when you have a binomial, basically it means that you have an expression with 2 terms. Alright, let's use an example to explain that. So it's 3y squared plus 2. Alright. Now if you check this expression, it has 2 terms. This is the first term, 3y squared is the first term, and the second term is 2. Alright, so a term is separated by a sign, which is a positive or a negative. Okay. You would come across the word mono. So mono means 1, so it means 1 term, and tri means 3, it means 3 terms. So an example of mono, let's use this. Mono, let's say 2x is an example of mono, and maybe 4 is an example of mono because it's a term, it's 1 term, right? So what about trinomial? So if you have a trinomial, let's say x squared, 2x squared plus x plus y. So how many terms do we have? We have this is the first term, second term, and this is the third term. So it's 3 terms. 3 is trinomial. All right. Now let's solve problems on binomial. Well, before we factorize this binomial, let me take you through this first. If you have a variable raised to exponent 2, this is how you're going to express it. X multiplied by x. Why? Because x multiplied by x will always take you back to x squared. Okay. Now, what about y squared? Y squared, you write y multiplied by y. Why is it like that? Because y multiplied by y always gives you y squared. Now, what happens if you have x, just a variable x? So this is how you're going to express it or represent it. So you're going to have x multiplied by 1 because x multiplied by 1 will always give you x. Now what about y? When you have y, you're just going to multiply it again by 1. Because y multiplied by 1, it's y. Good. Now, let's solve the problem that we have. So we have 3x squared. Now, how are we going to express x squared? This is how we're going to express x squared. X multiplied by x. Good. And therefore, what about that x? So we have x plus x multiplied by 1. So that x is expressed like this, x multiplied by 1, x multiplied by 1. Good. Now let's look for a common factor on this term and the other term, right? So a common factor, basically it's a number or a variable that repeats on both terms, right? So in this case, we have x that repeats on the other term. Good. So we're going to take that variable outside and put it outside. Good. So when we take it outside, inside the brackets, we're going to write whatever else that has remained. So this side, we are left with 3x. And then what about that side? We are left with only 1. Okay. So that is the factorized answer. Let's move to the next one. When you have an expression like this one, you just write the number here, 2 and 6 here. So what you're going to do is write the factors of 2. So factors of 2 is 1 and 2. Now factors of 6, it's 1, 2, 3 and 6. Great. Now what is common between these factors of 2 and factors of 6? This is common. That is your common factor on this expression. All right, so that common factor, you're going to write it here, common factor. All right, now inside the brackets, what am I going to write? So inside the brackets, this is what you're going to write. Write this expression as it is. Okay, good. And divide each and every term by that common factor. All right, so what do you get? So 2 cancel 2, you're left with t, and then here it's 6 over 2 equals to 3. Now that answer is the one that you're going to write inside the brackets. All right, so inside the brackets we're going to have t plus 3. This is our factorized answer. Let's move to the last one. Here is the last one, is a perfect square example. What is a perfect square number? A perfect square number is made up of a number that is multiplied by itself. In this case, we have 2 multiplied by 2, which gives us a perfect square number 4. And here's another one, 3 multiplied by 3, it gives us a perfect square number 9. Now, when you have this expression, this is how you go about it. You have x squared, which looks like a squared, minus 4. It has to look like b squared. So how can we write 4 with an exponent 2 on top? So we can write it like that. So 2 exponent 2 will give us 4. Now let's rewrite that expression. So it will be x squared minus 2 exponent 2. All right. Now when you see a, you write x because they are similar. And then when you see b, you write 2. You see, you write 2. Great. We are going to express it like this. Okay, so this is the final answer. When you have that expression, this is your final answer. So the final answer will be, remember, when you see a, you write x. When you see b, you write 2. When you see a, you write x. When you see b, you write 2. That is the final answer. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and enable the notification bell. From me, until next time, cheers.